Hello and welcome back to another episode of Otakuology Live. I'm your host, the Otaku Mike. With me, as always, is Jin, aka Manga Restart / Bard's Tavern. As this is going on, my phone is giving me an Amber Alert right now.
I can't even hear that.
That's because it was on silence. I just saw my phone go. But today, I feel like we're going to be talking about something that's taking the anime YouTube sphere by storm. I saw this originally in a clip, which I think I sent to you, which was Goku has a tail, is what it was, I believe. And so I saw that and I was like, what the fuck's going on here? And then like a couple days ago, I stumbled upon a video from Joey the Anime Man. Do you know who Joey is?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a pretty prominent anime YouTuber on YouTube. I like his content. I think he does really good work. He was talking about this group called the Anime Men, who is very similar to the Anime Man. And he was talking about anime tourists, is what he was talking about. And so I watch his video and I find it very fascinating. And then I go watch their video and I'm like, this is the fucking cringiest thing I think I watched. Like, he did a very well done video on it. He was very well spoken, gave a lot of detail behind stuff, and they didn't do that.
Yeah.
Which the video we're talking about is like, we watched every popular anime from the 1960s to 2025, I believe is what it was called.
Yeah.
Like the first episode of each number one rated anime in that specific year, which to their credit, that's a lot of anime I had to have to watch for a first episode. One, have to watch it all, or have to watch the first episode, but have to track some of it down because a lot of it's not streaming online legally, or if it is, it's on YouTube. I really am curious as how, so apparently it's a group of people. It's like 5 or 6 of them, I think.
6 of them.
6 of them. Okay. Yeah. 6 of them. And I'm sitting there watching this, and they broke up into like teams of 2. So there was three teams, I believe. Yeah. And so they each would take a popular anime, I think, from a year, wasn't it?
I think it was really who was around at that time. Like, there were at least 2 people, but there could have been 3 or 4 depending on when it was. But there was always somebody there that was watching the stuff, at least 2 of them.
Yeah. I hate how this video was shot.
I was kind of okay with that. Starting out, though, I feel like there's some things that need to be addressed.
Okay, what are those things?
For one, I feel like they are kind of playing off of Joey's success of being the anime man when they're known as the anime men. Mm-hmm. And I really think probably a lot of people stumbled onto their videos because they were probably looking for Joey and actually ended up finding them.
Which,
it's a little shady, I feel like.
A little bit, I would say.
You're getting some clout from that, but there's a lot. Okay,
there's a lot to unpack in this giant bag of stuff.
Yes, there's way too much to unpack, and some things that we will talk on are things that other people that we watched that covered part of this have already talked about. Which, again, even though, like I said, that whole thing, that was something that a couple of people have already said about their going off of Joey's stuff, not, everybody else's, or making their own. So, if that tells you anything, I feel like that sets the standard for a lot of other things, especially with this episode. Or will set with this episode on a lot of things of content's not really all that great, so the following doesn't seem like it computes. But
Yeah, I mean, I can't.
we'll get into that.
I think they put a lot into the video, but I don't think it was a well executed video. Now,
Yeah,
saying that, we don't put a lot of effort into our stuff.
that's
We're
true.
mostly just like an audio podcast.
That's
So
true.
I don't know if they have like a team of people or they are like the team who is creating the video, because it seems like they put out a video like every Monday, which is a lot. It's a lot of
Yeah.
content,
Yeah.
But where I take precedence with this video is, one, it's taken YouTube by storm. My feed is now completely filled with responses from their video. Like, I think I've ran across like 30 to 40 responses from like other YouTubers,
Yeah.
which is insane. Some of them I watched, some of them I didn't. Some I thought were really funny responses.
Yeah.
A lot of them, I loved all the ones from like back in my day, back in my, like, I feel like I don't know where to start with this, to be honest.
In
Like,
my day,
it was
I will set the precursor of that
okay.
then. The precursor, I feel like, is a lot of things that I will die on the hill of. A lot of kids that watch anime nowadays like to look at things that are currently published. And they don't like to think about, hey, something before had to grow into that.
Yeah.
They don't like to look at those things. And we're also looking at anime, I would say, and a lot of people like to spill over into manga. And I think that also needs to be a precursor in some of this, because throughout the video on some things, it is, hey, we didn't watch this, we read the anime, or we read the manga for it. And that can be different in and of itself.
And as well, a lot of animes don't have like the best first episode. A lot of them are like the long game almost. Like,
That's true.
you're setting up the story, and then like the next episode could be something even better than the first episode.
It's true.
Which they seem to very much go with, I want it now. It needs to be fast paced. It needs to like grab my attention.
I agree.
It like, even when we get into like certain parts, like the S tiered animes that they put in S tier, I don't feel like they all deserve to be there.
That's true.
But
another precursor, only because you and I are kind of that way, I would say,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of things that I feel like did get S tier or something like that are either because of the violence and content of that, fighting or whatever, or because of the fan service.
I guess, yeah.
And I have to say, I feel like that's where most of it was for this video, of what determined an S or an A, and basically the art style. If it was black and white, I will tell you that probably every black and white anime they had was an F tier. And
not just that, like some classics were an F tier.
Yeah.
Like, or like we would think of classics. Like, one that stuck out in my head was Samurai Troopers, Ronin Warriors.
Yeah.
I know most people might not remember that, but I mean, it's considered like a classic. And I was like, oh man, Jin's gonna have a field day with this. This is like one of his favorite shows.
Yeah.
And like seeing them put like Astro Boy in there in the F tier, Dragon Ball was in D tier, which I'm surprised Dragon Ball was on the list, but Dragon Ball Z was not on the list.
It's true.
Because most people in America start with Z and never watch Dragon Ball.
Yeah.
Which is probably one of the worst things you can do, in my opinion, as an anime fan.
Yeah.
Is because you're only watching half the story. Which there's a whole thing with that, I feel like. And most Americans growing up did not watch it. I mean, because Dragon Ball wasn't readily available. Z was more readily available than Dragon Ball. So that's why that happened. But yeah, like,
and to add to that, I also feel like it would have been better if, and I'm not going to say our approach is the best,
yeah,
but usually if Mike and I are going to cover something and we know we're not going to be able to cover the entirety of it, we will also go up and watch other streamers' videos and stuff on it that maybe did have more of an input and stuff. And that way you get more of an opinion, like what else did they learn from it? What else did they find? And some of that's half the battle. I'll find people that have commented or made stuff about it, and I'll relay that to Mike, and Mike will be like, well, here's some other stuff that's from the history of it. Like, we kind of have this melding of the minds that make it fun, and that was something that I feel like was really left out, because it was like we're just trying to watch the first episode instead of going down the rabbit hole of doing any of that, or not even taking the time to actually find all of the English dub or something like that.
yeah. Because at one point they just watched like a raw episode of something. I think it was Touch. They watched a raw episode of Touch with no subtitles, and then they watched like the Spanish dub of Inuyasha. I think it was
or
the Spanish fan sub of Inuyasha, and which it begs the question, like, anime fans nowadays who got into anime in a pandemic and stuff, or younger anime fans, like, how like obnoxious they were. I felt like obnoxious, and they were like, I know what's right. You old timers don't know what you're talking about. Old anime basically sucks. Now, there were some anime that they did rank fairly high that were old.
Yeah.
Some, not all. Most old anime was like in like D to F, maybe C. I think the only old anime that they actually ranked really, really high was Berserk, which came out, I think, 97, and then Urusei Yatsura, which I was surprised that they ranked that at an F tier. I mean, it's a good show. It's a good show. Don't get me wrong. It's a classic for a reason. It's Rumika Takahashi, and I was surprised. I was surprised that they actually ranked that at that high.
I was surprised they even used an S tier, because most things based off of the first one, you can't really say that. And one other thing, and I will say this as well, because we're only covering the first episode of what the things were.
Yeah.
Some of the things there wasn't enough on it. Some of it was what the previous knowledge was. And
some the one had no knowledge.
The one that I will throw out that I agree with the rating. I feel like the rating was good for it, but it was the previous knowledge of them having it, which was Yu Yu Hakusho. And it was like, but you've seen the whole entirety of it. You know that it's deserving of the higher ranking.
Yeah, didn't it? Did it get A tier?
I think it either got A or B.
Yeah,
I mean, I would say it's an A, but I mean, like, they had that, they knew that it wasn't just off the first episode. But for me, like, off of just the first episode of a Yu Yu Hakusho, I mean, you're going just that first one alone, I would have to say probably C or D.
Well, the thing is, like,
because there's not a lot in the first episode of Yu Yu Hakusho.
There's not a lot in it, but like the show doesn't really get started until like episode 4 or 5, maybe.
Yeah,
when he actually starts, because I think like the first 3 episodes are him trying to get his body back, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
So like they're fairly slow episodes, and I feel like that wouldn't gel with them. And like, but they were like, man, Hunter x Hunter is like the best thing ever.
Yeah.
But Hunter,
and I mean, you could tell what they watched, though. I think that's also why a lot of things got F tier, because it was something they'd never watched and they based it only off of the first episode.
Yeah.
When a lot of the things that actually got more were either ones I feel like they knew something about or something else like that,
True.
And to me, that wasn't exactly being honest and true to the content, because you don't know all of it.
Yeah.
I mean, the Astro Boy movie, that wasn't the best. Still, I think would have ranked higher than the anime because of how the story is.
Are you talking about the The one that came out like a couple of years ago, the Astro Boy movie.
Yeah, the one like from 2015 or
Oh
2014, something like
God,
that.
yeah.
You know, like it's good. Don't get me wrong, but it's not the best. But I feel like in this rating system that they use, they could have watched that movie and it would have rated higher than the first
Yeah.
episode of the anime.
I was curious to see like how they knew like what was the most popular thing in that time period. You
I'm
know,
sure there's a list for it, like a top
it's
40 or a
probably
top
like my
100.
anime list or something like that,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Which I'm surprised they went back like all the way. Like those first two that they covered, I was like, I have no idea what these are.
yeah. Well,
Like
the
I've never
very
heard of them.
first one was Astro Boy. They just kept saying the Asian name of it.
No, but they did like two before, which were like in the 60s. And I think the next one was Astro Boy because they're like, oh, that's Astro Boy. So like at least I know who Astro Boy was.
Yeah,
But they didn't, they kept trying to replay it, and they're like, oh, Tetsuan Adam is Astro Boy.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
and I'm like, oh my god, like the like I just to not do the research
Yes,
was
I
astounding, like
I felt
but
like
baffling.
the first part of this would have been better if it was called um oh crap, what is it called? I had it and then you said something and I lost it.
Uh,
Like when you read a manga for the first time,
like a first impression.
yeah, like a first impression. There you go.
Yeah, yeah,
I felt like that's what the beginning of this should have been, and then closer to the end when they got into stuff that they knew, it could have just been a straight up review.
yeah,
Uh,
because they don't really do reviews in the video at
yeah,
all, really. They never go in depth with what they really talk about. Like
yeah,
they're very quick, and I didn't like that. I wish they would have went a little bit in depth because it seems like they very much sped through it. Like
well,
all
and part of it is as somebody that you and I both do reviews and stuff. It's definitely like you almost have to keep full attention. I know I
yeah,
could check a message watching King of the Hill when we cover that or Peacemaker or whatever, but I have to, as a reviewer, I have to sink my teeth into the material to be able to be as the most accurate person that I can be of that source. And you and I both kind of have that responsibility if people are going to watch us. And I felt like most of it for them was,
oh, on their phones.
and how do you do that with part of the older anime
Yeah,
when, and of course, like they watch the first one on some of them, or they watch the first one on a lot of them. And if they knew a lot of those so well, why would you even have to watch the first episode and just saying, like, hey, I'm going to automatically give this an A?
true.
I mean, you and I
Which
have seen Yu Hakusho so many times, we could automatically be, it's going to be an A. We're both going to pick an
yeah,
A.
yeah, yeah, and it was baffling. Like when they got to like City Hunter, they didn't even watch all the first episode.
Yeah.
They only watched half it. They're like, "Oh, this is boring. This is boring," you know. And they're like, "Oh my god, we finally got the color. Oh my god!"
Yeah.
Like, and then they like when they get to the 80s, they kind of lighten up a little bit, and they're like, "Oh, some of this is kind of good. Some of this is just boring." I really think it comes down to like what, like you said, like what they originally were introduced to.
Yeah.
It seems like none of them were introduced to anything in the 80s,
Yeah.
which I get. Like when I was an anime fan, I watched a lot of stuff from the 90s and early 2000s,
Yeah.
I didn't touch a lot of stuff from the 80s um until I got a little bit older and I had more reverence and like more appreciation for the stuff from the 80s,
Yeah.
and because like I now like I love anime from the 80s. Like, you know, just like whenever we would talk about like Bubblegum Crisis or Writing Bean,
Yeah. Yeah.
like I'm like, these are amazing. Like I have a bunch of anime from the 80s and stuff. Like I collect a lot of stuff, anime, and like it just seems like they don't care about what came before 2020 almost. I think they cared about like Naruto at one point. Like
Well, I
Naruto.
mean, I feel like they cared about Yu Hakusho, but
Yu Yu Hakusho, Naruto.
I wouldn't say 2020. I would say anything after 2010.
Yeah.
I mean, or maybe a little bit before, depending on what it was.
Yeah.
But I mean, there was just so much, and to be true to the material, I don't think some of it they gave a fighting chance.
Some, but not all. Most of it, they didn't.
Yeah. And I mean, like I said, you could have staged part of that, honestly, and been like, hey, we actually watched 5 episodes of Astro Boy, and because we've already seen Yu Yu Hakusho, we've already seen all this other stuff like past 2010.
I would have liked to seen them like watch more than one episode.
Yeah. Well, it's especially on the older stuff. I mean, the newer stuff, like I said, I could have been lied to about, hey, well, we didn't watch all this, but we've watched it before. We've watched it in its entirety. We've done all this, like, how do you know? I mean, what was that one that you and I covered that was the one that kind of seemed like Little Red Riding Hood with the guys that looked like they were from Fallout?
Genro, the Wolf Brigade.
And like you told me that was going to be good and all that, and then we go to get into the recording with it, and we both give each other the look.
Yeah, like
this was shit. Like
this was shit. This was shit.
We don't know how this episode's going to go.
That I remember, like that one got like hyped up and had a lot of marketing behind it, and I'm like, oh my god, like this is done by like a well done like anime studio.
Yeah.
And like it was
and then we actually watched it, and it was like no.
Or what was the other one? The one with the train and the cats.
The Midnight
Express.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. Which
and it was just all right.
That one wasn't terrible.
It was all right. And then like after you had looked up more and said, hey, well, did you know that was ever like not actually ever really fully completed and all this other stuff? I was like, okay, well, maybe I have to give it a little grace.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the ending of Berserk. The guy picked up, a lot of stuff after the original creator, after he passed away. God rest his soul. Unless
God rest his soul.
You have a different deity, but like you have to give some things a little grace, and you also have to look at it, I think, for what its time period piece was.
Yeah.
Because if it's number one in its year, there's a reason why it was number one in its year.
Yeah.
I would have really liked to known some other like in-depth stuff. Like what was the other runner-ups for that year?
Yeah, true.
And to be like, we watched enough of this to know, yes, this is deserving of that number one spot, or to say, hey, well, this year they only had like 6 anime come out.
Yeah.
Like give me a little more in-depth stuff on part of that. Tell me part of that. But I mean, shit, I feel like you and I could have given a better honest opinion, even though we haven't seen part of those, than these guys did.
I've seen a good chunk of it.
Yeah.
There were ones that I have not seen. There was one where there was like, it looked like a shoujo or something. It was.
Yeah.
Like there was that. And then there was like, I haven't seen Touch, but I've read Cross Game, which is a manga that from the same creator, like a lot of those I have seen, but there were ones that I have not seen.
Well, and let me play devil's advocate on this. What if it was one that they brought up and said, oh, well, I read the manga, and the manga is like 25% of the manga is of the anime is like the manga.
Well, they did do that.
I mean, like what? Like I've been watching Saw Spider, So What? Nothing like the manga. Nothing like the manga. There's other ones that are like that. Log Horizon, nothing like the manga. So if you say, hey, I did this, but it's based off the manga, and it's not a 1-for-1 adaptation, you can't be true to that source material.
Well, see, here's the thing. So when we got to like Berserk, and they were like S tier, automatically S tier. Because it's a classic and the manga is like the best manga of all time.
But the anime sucks.
I mean, the anime is okay. It's not bad. It's not a bad.
Some of the movies are good. some of the ones that were revisited, the
I
ones
would
that
say,
have the other ones that you and I have talked about. Because remember when you used to do your rating where it was like based off of CGI, based off the
oh
thing.
yeah, yeah.
Some of it for Berserk, Mike would probably give it a 1 because some of the CGI in it is that shitty.
But
But
those were like the newer films. I'm talking about like the anime.
I'm talking about all of it.
Like
You got to talk about all of it, okay?
the 97 anime was good for its time and still does hold up because it is
Yeah.
probably the best interpretation of the Berserk manga.
Yeah.
But it was never completed at the time, and they tried to fill in the gaps with those other Berserk animes and stuff. But
And they try to revamp it.
yeah, they try to revamp it and stuff, but like I don't think that these people, the anime men, I think this is the first time they watched the original Berserk, to be honest.
I would put money on that. I would definitely put money. And the other thing is, you and I are two people.
Yeah.
Joey the anime man is one person.
Yeah.
This is 6 guys. And you can't give me a better review or anything on some of this stuff.
True.
Like, you have more people that can add to the conversation. And you left me hanging, bro. You left me hanging.
They didn't add anything to the conversation. Like, they were just like, yeah, the animation sucks. The story kind of sucked. I don't know what
I could have had a better time too. I feel like if they would have laid the stuff out for us earlier, like if we had like a scale, like in Master Chef or whatever, Iron Chef, where they go, we're gonna base it off of art style, plot, and something else. I mean, if they would have done that and been like, we have it here, and it was here because it fell into this category, I think that would have been a lot better setup for it. But
I would have liked them to go into more detail, or maybe even put it into like 2 videos.
Yeah,
split it up. And like it was
just
like
the other thing we could have honestly gotten at this is you could have put up a camera and this could have been like a found footage movie. I mean, honestly, that's kind of what it felt like anyway.
I hated when they were like just had it on them and they were just watching the anime and they sped it up.
Yeah.
And they were like on their phones, like chewing their nails, like sitting there in their shorts. And I'm like, a ball's about to pop out, I feel like, at one point. Like I'm about to see
channeling a ball.
I'm about to see some like Beans and Franks here because of the way they were sitting and shit.
Yeah.
And like all the stupid.
Wow, you sound old on that one.
Yeah, all the stupid jokes that they had in this, like the weird running joke where the one guy kept falling asleep was annoying. It was annoying. Like all their jokes were just so cringy. Like I felt like it was I feel like they tried to Mr. Beast an anime video.
Yeah.
But they did such a bad job. They didn't really do any research going into any of it.
And I was really thinking I was going to come on before we got into the show, and you're going to be like, man, all these kids are like early 20s or whatever. And I was going to be like
early 20s.
I was going to be like, are you sure?
I think they're probably all like college age.
Yeah. I would say mid 20s, which,
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, and if this was the video that I had to start watching these guys on,
This was the video I started watching them on.
That's true. I mean, I would be very upset. Like, I don't know if I want to watch any more content from them. I mean, I would. I'd give it a chance, right?
I
just
wouldn't.
Like they didn't give this anime, but
I wouldn't, because I scrolled through some of their stuff, and it was like, I read every volume of My Hero Academia, which they put My Hero in like.
Should we rebrand our channel as the Anime Mans?
Anime Mans.
Yeah,
like,
put an S behind it.
One of them was like, I read every volume of My Hero Academia. The other one was like, the last person to still be reading manga is the winner, type of thing. Yeah. Or like, we watched the worst animes of all time.
Yeah.
Which in that one, I clicked on that one. They spun a wheel to choose which ones they watched.
Oh God.
Yeah, but I made it through like a minute of that video. I didn't go into any more detail.
You're a monster.
I find it more fascinating, like the responses to this video,
Yeah.
because I hate this video. I don't like them as reviewers. Like I feel like they give anime fans a bad name, to be honest. They don't respect what came before, really. Like it just has a sour taste in my mouth, to be honest. Like,
you want to do this video and do like manga that came before?
like I feel like this is gonna be like the representation of like the new anime fan.
I could honestly agree with you.
It's the
I
representation
could
of the new
honestly
anime
agree
fan.
with you. And you said it before the show, and I hate to kind of be and step in line with you about being a gatekeeper, but I kind of feel that way. And I don't necessarily, I don't want to use the term gatekeeper because that to me feels like you're denying
Okay.
people the ability. But I would say probably lore keeper.
You need to prove your worth before we let you in.
Yeah, I would say lore keeper. I feel like a lore keeper would be better because my niece is 13 and has come and like how big the manga collection is.
Yeah.
And has been like, hey, what would you recommend to me? And we've had those conversations of, well, I'd recommend this, but you can't try and buy this. It's not around anymore.
Yeah.
And she sat down and she's watched it, or she's not watched it, but she's read it and everything else. And she's been like, this was actually really good. And I'm kind of like, well, you wouldn't have gotten the chance if I didn't tell you that I had it still, or that it was something that was in my collection that I valued.
Yeah, like my daughter, she's gonna be 13 this year. And she's at the stage where she's been getting into anime.
Yeah.
I never pushed her to get into anime. Anime has been around our family since she was born.
Before she was born.
Before she was born, in my life, and like
nerd.
She
Otaku Mike was born Otaku Mike.
She took it upon herself and she watched like all of Sailor Moon by herself. She watched Sailor Moon and Sailor Moon Crystal by herself. I never once told her, "Oh, don't watch that. You don't need to watch it." Like I was like, "Oh yeah, sure, watch it." It's fine.
You'd be like, teardrop.
Teardrop.
I'm so proud of
you. She was she got into watching Spy Family, and like we actually ended up watching that together.
Yeah.
And like that's something that we enjoyed watching together, and maybe when she gets older, I'll show her some of these other anime, or we might watch something else together, but like these guys, like it just seems like anime is just a trendy thing to get into, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
A trendy thing to be into, like anime is mainstream.
I almost feel like that it was the whole thing that they really got into anime. Mm-hmm. They may have seen it before,
which is fine. I
don't want to stereotype into that, but I really feel like the majority of their anime watching happened during COVID.
Yeah,
and that was it. So anything that is pre-COVID, there's not really that much connection to it.
I mean, there were some that they had connection to.
Yeah,
because they had One Piece, Bleach, Naruto.
They could have gotten into that after.
True.
It could have been something that was connected.
True.
But I mean, there didn't seem like there was a lot, and it's really funny. I used to give everything a pretty good green light. Like I wouldn't give anything below probably a C tier on a lot of things.
Yeah.
Even if I thought it was kind of bad, unless it was wholeheartedly bad. And me and Mike being more anime reviewers and stuff really has pushed the buttons for me on if I sense anything that seems like it's bullshit in an anime, I will definitely do that. And I know at times you're like, hey, buddy, you got to ease up a little bit on this, you know, give it a little grace. So I'm like, no, this is bullshit. And, you know, that's something I feel like after watching this that I have to stick to even more, because you have things that are out there that somebody, because they didn't even watch it, tell you this is good or this is bad. And without really taking that drive yourself to really experience it yourself, there's no point of even attempting it if you're just going to listen to what somebody else says.
Yeah, in which I feel like this video and this YouTube channel possibly is going to do more harm than good, you know. I feel like a lot of the younger fans are going to be drawn into this. Now, I'm not saying, you know, like maybe some of their content is better. I don't know. But I feel like they are going to take this on face value that, oh, all these anime that are in the D tier and the F tier are shit, you know, which they're not. They're not shit. I mean, Doraemon is the Mickey Mouse of Japan, basically, and they were like, oh, he's shit. Detective Conan is a very good show. It's a very good show that's been lasting for decades. They're like, oh, this is shit.
Still going on.
Still going on. This is shit. You know,
still
and like
continues to be in my top 10.
It makes me afraid for the future of anime fans that they are going to look at this, because this video has already racked up bajillions of views, and be like, oh, I'm not gonna go experience this anime because these 6 guys were like, it's bad. You know,
I would only wish one thing on people that watch this video, though, honestly, and that's what it kind of burned in me, is that this was kind of such a shitty thing, but it also gave me the foresight of there's a lot of this stuff that I haven't watched, and for me to be better, that there's stuff that I'm going to have to go back and watch, even if it's all black and white or it's something like that, because my knowledge isn't as best as it should be. I mean, if you watch this and I feel like take something away from that you can always be a better anime fan, you can always be a better reader, you can always be better at whatever it is, I think then you could argue that it did its job. But for anybody that's not even going to give anything a chance because you go, oh, well, it's a C tier or below, you're doing a discourtesy to yourself.
Yeah, no, most definitely. I mean, I know we rank stuff on here, you know, and like I would have to say, like, I feel like, you know, with us moving in more of like an anime direction and me purposely pushing the older stuff onto you, I feel like you have a more well-rounded grasp of like, this is anime. You know, like this is there's more out there than just things from before 2010 or whatever, you know. You know, I'm not saying you're like bad at viewing anime, but you're not like an anime. You're not like a major anime watcher. You're not like an anime collector, you know. So like, it's a lot harder for you to like go find these anime that I'm like, hey, let's go watch this. Let's go watch this. And like, oh, we got to go track it down and find it for you.
And then that's the other thing is, you know, there's a lot of things, a lot of subjects you and I have touched on, and without people really wanting to watch those old ones, how will you ever know where anime got its start from? If all this stuff is going to go through Crunchyroll and possibly die off of whatever, what is the discourtesy of you being able to go back and find that stuff and watch it and be able to enjoy it, or know like, hey, this is what it is? I mean, some anime, I would say Astro Boy or whatever, should be a lot of people's Casablanca. And it's going to die off where you're not even going to get a chance to watch it because of something like that.
Some might say Astro Boy is their Schindler's List.
Yes.
You know?
Fully agree.
You know?
I mean, there is so much other stuff out there, and there are so many people that don't give other things a try. And some things that the reason why they're ranked so high is because people watch that, people have recommended it, and nobody knows that some of that other stuff's out there. I mean, like the last time I was on anime list, Berserk was like number one.
I was
What if Berserk's
surprised.
not number one? Because a
I,
lot of people just haven't seen enough.
I was surprised that the original Full Metal Alchemist made it onto the list,
Yeah.
but Brotherhood did not make it onto the list. Because
Yeah.
Brotherhood is everybody nowadays who is getting into anime only watches Brotherhood.
Yeah.
They never watch the original Full Metal Alchemist,
Yeah.
which I was
Well,
surprised.
like I said, there were some little gems that were in this because they watched whatever it was for that year. And I
Yeah.
do hope that some of that stuff gets more publicity if people watch that video, and that people will give that stuff more of a try. Because wholeheartedly, there's some of the stuff that a lot of people I don't ever hear talk about anymore. There's some of the stuff that I enjoyed that were really hot anime at the time.
Yeah.
People don't talk about anymore because it got completed and then it just kind of sank into the sand.
Yeah. And nobody talked about it. Nobody was like, here, watch this. Watch this. You know, it wasn't readily available. So people couldn't pass it on. You know, like I was like, it just seems to me that, like, yeah, they're kind of like in their own little bubble, which a lot of fans are in their bubble. A lot of fans will just watch the stuff that when they start anime and then when they end anime. And anime fans' lifespan is maybe like 5 to 6 years, a lot of people say.
Right.
And then they either get out of it or they don't get out of it, you know, and they only watch stuff from that particular time frame most of the time.
Right.
I really was interested to see like what anime they enjoyed, or like where, like more like how they came into watching anime. I'd like to know of, because one of them was like, I hated anime all my life, and then in 2020 I got into anime, and then like Death Note's the best thing ever.
I had a conversation today that was like that.
And I was like, okay, Death Note has its place. Death Note is a very flawed anime, but it has its place as a classic, I would say. You know, which I think we should probably review Death Note at one point. I feel like
there's a lot of stuff we could review.
Yeah.
It's just something we haven't reviewed yet.
That's one thing like I really like to push is I've made it a like almost like a mission statement, almost like I want to review these older anime. Yes, we've reviewed things like Sakamoto Days.
It's your love letter.
It's my love letter. It's my love language.
Yeah. No, I mean, I'd say it's your love letter. It's kind of like what you wrote for other people to try and enjoy.
Yeah, like I want to recommend stuff that like nobody has seen for people to check out and watch, you know, as I'm looking at my collection right now off to the side. And like I feel like that's what I want, where I want to push the podcast, even though we have covered things like Sakamoto, Delicious in Dungeons.
Well, and there's more. I mean,
Cyberpunk, you know.
We've talked about more everything, you know.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's something that we can do, but, you know, calling to the fans out there, we need a little help pushing everything. And when we ask for recommendations, give us a recommendation.
I did get a recommendation for us to do Oron High School Host Club. I had a conversation about it the other day. Me and my coworker were like talking about older anime that we like watched, and somehow like get a little off topic here. Somehow like,
are we doing the new one or the old one?
There's only one Oron Host Club anime. There's two. When did the second one come out?
Oh, not that long ago. It was on Netflix or whatever. Because the first one, you know, even though it was done, it went off of where one of the characters, basically all this stuff happened, and it was like, oh, I love you. When the second one came out, it actually fixed a lot of that stuff where you were supposed to have all the characters.
I'm gonna look it up.
You're like, I didn't know that.
I mean, I've only ever heard of the one Oron anime, which came out in like the early 2000s.
Actually, you know what? You're right. You know what I was thinking of?
Was it the manga?
I was thinking of the Zodiac one.
The Zodiac one.
Yeah. Fruits Basket.
Oh, okay.
That's what I was thinking of.
Okay. Gotcha.
I watched both of those at the same time. That's why it threw me off.
Okay. Yeah, so like we were talking about it, and we were like, yeah, it was a pretty good show. Like I held that one in high regard. It's not normally something I would watch, but I was like, this is a fun show. And
yeah,
we're sitting there talking about it, and we have a coworker. He's like in his early 20s, and he's like,
you sure he's not in the Anime Man?
No, he's not in the Anime Man. But he has a collection of 300 anime for his My Anime list.
It's not even close enough. Fuck that. That's
not I'm like, that's not a collection. It's a spreadsheet. Okay, that's a spreadsheet. That's not a collection. And he was like,
true.
I was like, oh, have you seen Ouran High School Host Club? And he was like, yeah, I've seen a little bit of it. My sisters watch it. I think it's kind of gay. And I'm like, and he leaves the room. He just leaves the room. The conversation ends.
Is that why you sent me this text message?
Yes. So he leaves the room, and I turn to my coworker, and I'm like, nobody in that anime is gay. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
There are themes. I could see why somebody would think that.
Gay tendencies, almost.
I would see how somebody could think that.
Possibly some gay tendencies.
But the thing is, like we talked about, knowing all the stuff that happened in the past, more shoujo type of stuff should have actually been classified as more of a josei. Because it's a high school host club, and hosts in Japan are actually more of an escort.
Yeah.
The thing is, the funny thing, and ones that are seinen that you and I have read / watched, like the one about the writer where he was going to get a divorce, and it's made by like the same guy that wrote Flowers of Evil, or the other one that I like that does the human stuff a lot better, and it was like a one shot.
Yeah.
He went to a host club before he went to a brothel.
I vaguely remember that.
You say host club, and people go with Ouran host club, and they go, "Oh man, that's not it." No, a lot of older shoujo actually tell you a lot of stuff that are actually things that are supposed to be more for an adult.
Yeah.
They could all be considered escorts, and if it really pushed the envelope and they wanted to remake it as a josei, Ouran host club would definitely fit the bill for that. They'd probably have to go to college though.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I feel like this is kind of like a good stopping point almost.
Got any last thoughts?
I don't ever want to watch any more of their videos.
Well, I think, and this may just be me talking, I think honestly that we should probably go through their list and find all these other ones, and we should probably do our own list off of it, or
a tier list.
Yeah, do our own list, either based off of us watching the anime, like at least like a few episodes to get a good thing on it, of the exact same list, and then maybe making a second list of what we thought were the best ones for those years. Yeah, because honestly, I feel like you and I could do a better impression of that, and we probably have more knowledge. Where probably the only thing is the 80s to the 90s are the ones we're actually going to have to watch.
I mean,
sad to say.
I'll probably have to watch like Demon Slayer and stuff like that.
Well, yeah, that's more modern day. That's totally different. That's at the other end of the spectrum.
I would probably have to watch more stuff from like the 60s almost.
Yeah.
I think the only thing I've seen of this from the 60s was like Astro Boy and like Speed Racer.
Yeah.
Some of those,
I love the comments from some of the other people on some of it. Don't you give Speed Racer a low score?
The comments were like fucking savage.
Yep. And the thumbs down for it were horrible.
It was so many thumbs down.
So many thumbs
I
down.
just feel like it was so. Last thoughts on this. I felt like this was so offensive to anime fans.
My last thoughts, I really had to think if this was an actual thing for this. I really had to
Oh
think if it was an actual review or if it was really just a shit take to see how many
yeah, yeah.
if bad publicity was still publicity.
Glad publicity is still good publicity. Yeah, like I
Yeah,
was halfway through it. I was like, "Is this just like a shit post?"
because 22 dislikes or more at this point
It was like
compared
20.
to compared to 2,000 likes, I think is a
It
little
was like
crazy.
22,000 dislikes.
22K, yeah,
Yeah,
compared to
yeah.
two.
And I was one of the dislikes. Okay,
Signed, dotted.
I don't know. I don't normally dislike videos, but I was like, "Fucking, if I could dislike it 20,000 times, I would."
I don't dislike videos because I feel like you should know if you made good shit or bad shit. So
I mean, I commented on it, and I was like, "This is offensive to like all anime fans."
yeah.
And
So
which I hope in the end, I kind of want them to make like a follow up almost. Like I would love to see like a follow up to like their reactions to how negative the video has become.
I feel like we need an apology video.
Because like
An apology video.
because like nobody liked this video. I didn't see any good comments in the comment section.
It's really hard to go through a video and have to dig through positive comments to find the bad ones. And this one, it was the complete opposite.
Yeah. Like I want to see like their reaction to be like how negative this video is.
I'm sure that they will probably have a comment video or something like that on, and probably do multiple ones for like a month on, hey, this is bad comments that people said on that video.
Yeah.
And it will probably be more fucking publicity of people going in and saying stuff and commenting on those and going, hey, well, you know, our college is paid for now.
Yeah. I think they all
All
live in the
6 of
same.
them.
I think they had like one of those like recording houses because their house that they were recording in looked like one of those like the creator houses that you would see.
See, I didn't even think that. I felt like it looked like a poor college kid apartment
I
because it
mean,
was
it was
pretty scant.
yeah, it was pretty sparse with like
Yeah.
their decorations and stuff.
So they're probably all in college. I hope the good thing out of this is that if they get any money and shit off of any of it, all the watches and whatnot, that maybe it will put them all through college and they can look at it. And I'm sure at some point they'll be like, we're not going to do anime anymore.
I mean, they had that the Fortnite advertisement right in the middle of their video.
That was
With,
stupid. I couldn't even tell you if that was true. I thought that was a joke.
I think the whole video is a fucking joke.
We don't know.
I think the whole
We
video is
don't
a
know.
fucking joke. I think the video is honestly to rile people up to get people talking. Like us, we're talking because
Yeah, but
we're too old
is,
talking about this video.
as long as it is, I don't see that.
I mean, it was a pretty long fucking video.
I feel like if they came out now and said something about that, that I would have to be like, I think you're lying about it.
I think somebody should compile all the responses to the video into one video. And I want
You want us to cover that? Jesus.
I want them to respond to every response video. That would be funny.
Oh my god. You're gonna be like
And then
every negative comment.
and then
Otaku Mike is gonna make a video.
and then rank the response videos from S tier to F tier.
Oh my god. Sounds like another job for the Otakuology live stream.
I guess so. But yeah, I have nothing more to say about this, to be honest.
Anime is going to be anime. Enjoy it
Anime's
while you
anime.
can before it's gone.
Yeah.
There's going to be a lot of things up ahead that you may not get to enjoy it. And we might not even get to enjoy the old shit. So stay tuned for that.
It's true. But I mean, Hulu did just put a bunch of old shit on their for their anime and stuff, which I'm really excited about.
That is true.
I made a list and I sent it to Jen the other day, and I was like, this is all the stuff I want us to cover.
I don't make lists anymore because if I made lists, I'd add to it every day and you'd be pissed at me.
I mean, I do in my head mentally, I'm like, I want to cover this. I want to cover this.
You'd be like, did you start time stamping all this? Yeah, remember when you asked me this 3 years ago? You dick.
Yeah, I mean,
but anyway,
yeah. Fuck those guys.
You can find Otaku Mike at the Otaku Mike and other Otaku Mike and Otaku Mike accessories on his YouTube and Instagram channel. You can find me at Monitor Restart on Instagram. You can send me a comment. You can find me for Dungeons and Dragons and board game content at Bard's Tavern on Instagram. And you can get in contact with both of us at Otakuology Podcast. Anywhere that Otakuology Podcast is found, which is virtually everywhere. So if you're not listening, get on the ball.
And we'll see you next Tuesday.